Really?
400 grand.
I'll give me some of that.
I can't just give it away, Matt. I've spoke to the fella and I don't know that it will be legitimate to keep the money. A cardboard box arrived at John Knoll Management Offices, 400 grand in the box.
Cash.
Cash
In £50
money.
notes.
I think it's in 50s. I've not looked at it. You know me, I'm old Russ. Honest
Hang on,
Russ,
and
can't
what
be
did it
corrupted.
say?
I need to talk to... It's a handwritten note saying I need to talk to Russel Brand about the forthcoming election. So you know I'm serious. Here's 400 grand in a box.
And what have you done?
Still in the box.
What?
Well,
Let's go shopping.
Why are we standing around here doing a podcast like schmoes?
Actually, you could pay for me to have an MRI scan.
It's not my 400 grand. I'm not keeping it. I can't
I've already
keep
spent
it.
most of it in my head.
Look at you,
Why
idiot.
can't you keep it?
Well, we involved the police. We involved the police.
You ninnies.
I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have. You know me, mate. I'm moody. I'm snidey. I'm a double dealer. I can't be trusted. But they called the police. Look, I'm in the public eye. I can't just take boxes full of hundreds of thousands of pounds.
Podcast from the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Live from
What's the legal
Bahamas.
implication against
The
you?
old Bill got involved. I mean, I never would have involved. No, I like the police. I like having the police force are going to come back to the people. They're going to work for us again. Viva la revolution. But like the police said, like they come and checked out the situation, and they go, it's not illegal to give Russel Brand 400 grand. I mean, it's unadvisable, but it ain't illegal. But now the bloke's missus is like, no, he's had an episode like this last year. But what?
Who did he give it to then? Alan Carr.
Last year he gave it to Julian Lloyd Webber. He said Julian Lloyd Webber's the man to take us forward.
Oh.
No, he got like 400 grand in a cardboard box. I mean, I've not looked at the 400 grand. That's a lot of money. I don't think I've ever looked at that. That's only a little bit short of what the KLF set on fire to make a point. We could do that. We could.
They burned £1 million, didn't they?
They burned £1 million, the KLF, to make the point. That
Where are they now?
Yeah, justified and ancient. The KLF there.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Why don't you do a jingle just so it feels like a real podcast?
Like Nans, but young.
What is this?
This is something
Young
specific
Nan.
about young Nans.
Young Nan!
That's a good
You were sat on the train, I said, Young Nan! You won it in the game, I said,
This is good.
Nan!
Have you got a young Nan?
I'd love a young Nan. That's our new item, Young Nan. I mean, I just don't know how to perpetuate it. Have you got anything on a Young Nan? And
Well, it started off with me seeing some girls on the train knitting, and they were young.
Young Nans.
Just other examples of,
That.
you know, people like, you know, losing those. Like, how do you sew on a button? Do you know?
No. Have you ever kept a tissue in your sleeve for under? Now you're
I
a
did
father.
that, yeah, to my son. I did
See,
that.
you're a Young Nan.
But I didn't like that when I used to have it, because you'd have a lump in your sleeve and it was all wet on one side.
Itchy as hell.
Yeah.
400 grand in a box for Russel Brand.
Can't we have that as a prize to give away?
You can win 400 grand.
For a jingle.
Oh, we've got to get that. We've got to get the guy on.
We could have people killed with our 400 grand.
I'm surprised you went. I would have just taken it.
And never mentioned it again.
Never mentioned
Yeah, but that's
it.
because I'm actually, in spite of appearances, ethical man. I don't want 400 grand in a box. I do want it, actually. But, like, I can't
If
keep
you were
400 grand.
poor, if you had no money,
Yeah.
you'd keep it.
Once when I was doing a stand-up gig, I'm sure I've told you this, I did it at a student union, me and my mate Carl. They went, here you go, here's your sandwiches. And they gave us like a bag of like supermarket sandwiches and like a couple of drinks to go and have while we waited for the other lad who was a comedian to finish his set on stage. You're wincing, Matthew.
I'm in a pain.
You're
It's all right.
wincing in a chair. Take some drugs. Why don't you take some Valium?
Because I'll be all like tired and
Good.
weird.
I'll rope a dope.
I've got to drive
I'll
my
run
car
rings
later.
round you. So what?
Oh, I'll
take the
take a
risk.
Valium.
Chance it. Ooh, what's the kicking time for a Valley?
It's quite quick, especially when I snort it.
Matt's going to snort a Valley now on the podcast. So
No, I'm not taking. You're just egging
I'd
me on.
love
Mate,
a
take
Valium.
drugs.
Can I have a look at him?
You're not allowed to look at them. 400 grand these cost.
Cheapen up the price. I'll take them. Give us those Valleys, man. I need them bad.
No, they do help a bit, but they make you drowsy. And
I think
need
my
to be on my
nan.
game.
My nan, I think was. Yeah, you do need to be, because I'm sharp as a tack today. My nan, I think. I don't know if I want to accuse her of being addicted to Valiums, do I?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people of that age group were addicted to Valiums.
Well, housewives were all addicted to speed at one point.
The soppy, lovely old ducks. Those silly old duffers.
They used to give her amphetamines, didn't they, for Mother's Little Helper? Or was that gin?
I think that covers it all.
Yeah.
So I got once when I've done a student gig anyway. I'm trying to tell you, they gave me a bag of sandwiches, and in the sandwiches, like at some university, I'm in Warwick, say for example, it was like £2,000 in cash or something like that. It
In
might
the
have been free.
sandwiches?
in an envelope with the sandwiches.
Oh, right.
That day, the student union who had put on the gig had collected these subscriptions, right, in cash, but it was in sort of relatively large notes and stuff. It was $3,000 in an envelope, and I couldn't believe it. That someone like I looked in the sandwiches and there was an envelope. I looked in the envelope, there was money, and like just without thinking, just put it down my trousers.
I would have.
And the sandwich, which was less justifiable, but like, you know, I just thought, oh my God, I've got this money. And then I told Carl, I goes, Carl, it's like it's $3,000 in this thing. I mean, what's going on? We've got to nick it, haven't we? He went, yes, we have. We've got to. It's our obligation. And then, like an idiot, like a braggart, boastful idiot, I told the other comic that was on the bill, got $3,000, dear. And they went, you've got to give it back. You can't keep it. It's not right. It's not. I goes, you can shut up. I'm having it. This was given. I think I literally said, God wants us to have this money. I got there much too quickly to the like God's in charge sort of situation. Like, and then he goes, look, and earlier in that day he told us that he had cheated on his girlfriend, right? And then his girlfriend was travelling back with us in the car. He was giving us a lift back to London.
You have to give it back.
Yeah, and he was going like, it's just dishonest. And like, it went on. We were arguing. And then each of us was going on doing our sets, and then coming off again and carrying on the argument about the money. Like, I probably had a terrible gig. I mean, I was rubbish then anyway, but I would have had an even worse gig because I was in the back of my mind, all I was thinking about is the money, and Carl was looking after the money. I go, don't give the money back while I'm on stage, will you? And then we like sort of come back off, and then we travelled back in the car, and he was, and the other lad like was going like, we've got to give it back. We all had the same manager, this fella called Nigel Clough. We've got to give the money back. We've got to give it back. And me and Carl was going, yeah, but what? Carl was approaching it like an intellectual exercise, as you can imagine. Carl Theobald, the actor out Greenwing, right? He was like, but what is ethics and all that? You know, even though Carl was just from a normal background, he was like very sort of approaching everything philosophically. That irritated the other geezer. Oh, this is just like a game of chess to you. Well, this is life. And I goes, yeah, he does see life like a game of chess. That's the way he's always been. And like, but I was just hard keeping the money. And then the guy goes, look, we can't. It's dishonest. And I goes, and then the girlfriend was in the car at this point. We're driving down these country lanes back to London. And I goes, oh yeah, well, if I knew something dishonest about you, mate, I wouldn't spill the beans. Sometimes you've got to keep your trap shut, right, like that. So because I knew this thing, and he shrieked the car to a halt. He goes, I've got to talk to my spiritual advisor. And then he made a phone call, and he was just on the phone to someone for a bit, and then he abandoned me and Carl in the countryside with money. I felt so very happy.
He had a spiritual advisor.
I think he was just a bloke. I mean, I can't imagine the Dalai Lama got on the phone and went, oh, just drop him off in the countryside.
You don't cheat on her again, have you?
Oh, dear.
No, it's worse than that.
Now I'm involved in a tiny heist. A tiny accidental heist. So we had the money, and then we got back to Carl's. He lived in Clapton Pond at that time, and lay out all the money on the floor, except for the bit that I'd already sidelined and nicked for myself to cut it out of a 50-50 split. I was such a snidey little bastard then days. Any drug deal I did, I was like, oh, yeah, I'll score for you. Then mine, most of the people I did drugs with was basically snorting Rennie indigestion tablets.
Really?
Nasty little bastard.
Minty, this Coke, isn't it?
Yes, it's minty. It's the craze of sweet of the nation. How's your tummy? It's very settled. Very settled. There you go. Goodbye, sir. I'm feeling paranoid. And then, like, yeah, so then we had the money for a bit. I think I spent some, like, didn't go too nuts with it. Then we got on the Monday, because I guess it was a weekend, we got a phone call from Nigel Clough. Like, was there some money in that bag that you got?
No, but those sandwiches were chewy. I can barely get them all down.
I've had the terrible rounds. I better have some more indigestion pills. Like, yeah, he goes, well, look, they've said we've had the student union on. I think we was grassed up, to tell you the truth.
Oh, yeah, by our spiritual advisor.
Spiritual advisors! They've grassed us up, these spiritual snitches!
That's what his advice was, wasn't it?
Snitches get stitches! Yeah, ratted out. So in the end, the money had to go back. It tore me apart. Well,
so you'd spent some of it?
I spent about 400 quid, I think.
So what, did you have to
just
cough up 400
some
quid?
of it's got lost. What do you expect? Come on, like, gave it back best I could. Yeah.
I suppose they were like happy to get some back.
Yeah, because it could have been nothing. I would have stuck to my guns, but they was like, the police are going to get involved and all this sort of stuff.
The thing is, yeah, because I suppose like it's such a weird. You didn't steal it; you were handed it.
Didn't steal it. It got put into my hands. Now, obviously,
the only
morally,
way to morally, you got to give it back, right?
But what's morals? That's an invented concept.
But if you're desperate for money, you know, there's been times in your life where you think,
that was then,
money. Right? Yeah,
that was then. So I was desperate. I couldn't pay rent. Little poor drug addict.
What I would have done is taken it, put it into each of my shoes, flat.
Why have you got me in your shoes?
So it can't be found.
You think no one's ever looked in a shoe before? It happens all the time. Shoe bomber. It's one of the most famous first places.
All right, up my bum.
Obama.
He's a whole new kind of terrorist.
I don't know. No, I just.
At what point? At the gig?
And then I'd just say no.
If it had been me and you, I think maybe we'd got away with it because I think
We were terrible. Of course we would have done.
wouldn't have thought twice, did we? We did immoral and unethical things during.
We stole a bag once because it. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, we stole
We've
that
spoken about
bag
that, I think, on the radio.
We
stole
gave
a
it back.
bag.
Did we give the bag back?
Yes.
There was nothing in the bag, was there?
We stole a bag,
We
had
just walked
nothing in
past
it,
the
so
pub
we
and there was
took
a
it
bag,
back.
so we just took it.
Well, it was there. There's no one around, so we went.
We'll have that back.
That might be a bomb. Let's take it and see.
Yes. We couldn't have bombs going on. This is Chanel handbag.
Call in this. Give it back. Yeah. No, when you've got no, like, someone, you know, I think that's a thing that people say, isn't it? You can afford to have morals when you've got money.
Yeah, I can afford them now, so that's why I've not nicked that 400 grand or any part of it, and I'm going to give it back because I think it's just trouble and waiting.
Well, it sounds like it's come from someone who wasn't in their right mind to give it.
Yeah, that's right. Look, mate, you're not in your right mind. There's your 400. I'm amazed that someone so nutty has got 400 grand. That's the impressive
especially
thing.
if they give it away that easily.
I mean, that's a weird space to be able to get 400 grand and to be willing. Well, you know the conditions are. I've got to run in the election. I'm not prepared to run in an election.
Well, how much you have to
I don't
pay
know.
for?
I don't think the 400 grand's to do with that. I think
Probably wouldn't go very far, would it?
Not in a proper campaign.
No.
I don't know if that's to spend on the election. I thought that was just an
Oh, right,
incentive.
yeah, well, he said this is to show you that I'm serious.
Yeah, well, what you've shown me is you're eccentric. Yeah, I'm giving it back, Matthew. I'm giving it back. I can't keep it. It's burning a hole in my soul.
But do introduce me to the guy, because I've got a few things, ideas to pitch him.
Oh yeah, you'd be leached right onto him, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd limp it right onto him.
Oh, yeah.
You'd